So today we're in the garage with my buddy John and his Rubicon, and we are going to be doing a fun little project.
Yeah.
It's not a regular project. What are we doing?
We are swapping out the steering box. So
steering box.
Yeah, there's been some slop lately on the road, a little normal drift, which you
when
get
you say
with big
slop,
tires.
what do you mean by that?
Meaning it kind of floats a bit and you kind of overcorrect a little bit. You have to really have active driving all the time, especially at higher speeds. I've done all the usual stuff, drag link, tie rod, ball joints, U-joints, all to make sure they're good. They're relatively new. There's a little bit of stuff there that's worn, but nothing that should account for what I'm seeing. So I've also tried tightening the steering box, which worked, but it made the steering too stiff and responsive. I didn't like it, so I backed it off a bit. So I'm going to swap out the steering box.
And steering boxes obviously, go bad like any other part over time, especially when you're running larger tires. You're running 35s. You've got a lot of aftermarket accessories on here, winches, hybrid bumpers, things like that. So with all that extra weight, it's logical that this would wear out over time. Now this Jeep you bought this brand new, right?
Brand new. I've had it for about 7 years.
7 years. So after 7 years of heavy driving, heavy wheeling, and and of course daily driver too, it's not unusual for this to need an upgrade now.
Yeah, and we do heavy wheeling, and I drive this every day. I have the option of upgrading to a steering assist or a big bore steering box. I'm probably gonna get a different Jeep at some point this year. I'm gonna upgrade a bit. So I chose to just go with a normal OEM remanufactured.
So this is just a replacement. We're not doing an upgrade here.
Correct.
At a future time, we do plan on taking my Jeep and upgrading the steering box. So this will be a good experience for me to come in and see how we're doing this and what we're all doing. I would assume we're going to start by taking off the tire, and then what? Yeah,
so all I've done so far is chalked it. I put some tie-down straps on my steering wheel to hold it center. You don't want that to move at all once the Pitman arm and the box is out.
Okay.
And I pulled out the coolant bottle there and propped it up.
And that'll give us good access down here. Okay.
That's all we've done so far. Yep.
All right, well, let's work on getting those tires off, and then we'll lift the Jeep up.
Okay.
All right, so we got the tire off. We've got a jack stand underneath. So the question is, do we need to pull this all the way off, or can we just pry it up? I think we could just pry that up. You're right.
Yeah, it gives you pretty good access.
And that's pretty good access into here. Yeah, pretty good access. All right, so before we begin, we've got to disconnect some stuff, right? What do we got to take off first?
Yeah, so first thing we're going to do is disconnect the track bar, which centers your axle.
Okay.
It'll just give us better access to it right up here. We're going to disconnect the drag link from the Pitman arm up here, which is what connects to your steering box. So once we have that, then we'll be ready to remove the lines and disconnect the steering box and drop it out. So we'll do that first.
All right, let's get it all taken off.
Giant wrench.
Holy cow.
You should get one. Just easy access up here. It's adjustable. It's hard to get an actual socket on it, so we'll adjust it and just loosen this a bit.
You actually probably could come from this side and do pretty well. If you come through here, you've got a lot of space. Do you have a lot of room to turn inside there?
I just need to crack it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, come from this side.
Problem is
No, above.
Oh,
above this way. Yep, just like that. There you go. Yeah, that's actually a really good spot. Assuming I don't get the phone in the way. There you go.
Way.
Come on, put some stank on it.
Got it.
So we're going to use a ball joint separator to get that off, and we're doing that because we want to preserve the ball joint, right?
Correct. You look, it's already got a bit of a tear there, but that'll be fine.
Be gentle.
So we've got a ball joint separator on here. So you put it in. This bolt puts pressure on the upper arm, which pushes down on the joint. And because it's pushing down and not in a violent manner, it just puts pressure, which separates the ball joint without ruining it.
Even pressure.
Yeah, so we're gonna see. Don't know if this will have enough to do it, but we'll try. Done.
Oh, that popped.
Got a tear in the boot right there. So what we'll do is I've got an old ball joint that I replaced a while ago with a boot on it that's still good. So we'll swap it out before we put it back up.
It's holding in all the grease, right?
Holds in the grease, keeps it lubricated. Yeah, absolutely. So, prevents wear.
Okay. All right, next we are taking off the track bar.
track bar, so we'll, you know what?
Here, I'll hold that backside for you.
It's a different size bolt on the backside.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is a larger one. Forgot about that.
Here, try the.
All right, got it. Hold on. Switch so it's not in your way.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Some leverage on it.
Hold on. All right, go.
Okay, a couple more, and then we'll just throw the wrench on it. Okay, that should be good. Let me find the sizes first. I'm not sure.
So, track bar and tie rod both disconnected. Now it's time to disconnect the fluid lines that go to the pump. Is it the pump? Not the steering. No,
It's
we're
the
not.
steering box, not the pump.
Not the steering box. We're not replacing this power steering pump though.
Yep, correct.
Okay. So this is the new steering box, and as there's several things before we can get it prepped. One of the things we have to do is take the lines that go into here and here off of the old one before we can actually remove this and do that. So that's what we're working on right now. John is busy reaching in there. It's almost impossible to see from a camera perspective, but those lines are going into the back there. It's really dark. I wonder if I can turn my
18
light.
millimeters. So there's one here, right there that I'm touching
Yeah.
it, and there's one right next to it right there.
Okay, so we're just gonna remove those, and those are you're using what wrenches?
So I haven't checked the second one. The first one's an 18 millimeter.
18.
Yep.
Okay. And when
Ow, son of a gun.
you watch those, when you take them off, are we gonna expect a bunch of fluid leak?
I'm going to loosen them right now. That one's loose. And then we're going to get the where the actual steering shaft goes in. I'm going to loosen that as well. And then we'll remove them.
And that's why we've got a pan down here to catch that fluid, right?
Next is to take the steering shaft off of the steering box. So we're going to take this bolt off. Depending on how it's turned, that would be something you'd either access from the tire side or the engine compartment. And obviously you can see here, the engine compartment is where ours is hitting.
And that's a 1/2-inch bolt?
1/2-inch bolt. I actually need a bit of a shorter extension here, so.
Breaker first?
I might. Let's try it. There we go.
All right, bolts out.
Bolts out.
Now how do you just pull it off, or you don't need to pry it off?
Nope, just pop it off and we'll just rest
Gonna
it there.
Rest it down there, oh perfect.
So it's ready to go back on the new
All
one.
right, so next we need to take the Pitman arm off. The Pitman arm is the little kind of, how do you describe it? It's a pretty unique little piece. Let's look at it right here. Curvy arm. You'll always hear people getting, lifts and changing up things and getting a drop Pitman bracket or even a different Pitman arm.
So the drop Pitman arms will come down here like
Yep,
this.
they just drop it down lower. So this right here is just a bolt, big old bolt. We'll have to get that off and then remove that Pitman arm and then keep going. So it's time to bring out the big guns.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
Whew.
Jesus, this is the size of my head.
It is the size of your head.
Those are massive.
Look at that. 1 5/16 for the Pitman arm.
All right, you can use the breaker or the...
Yeah, let's use the breaker to break it, and then we'll just put it on the gun to get it off. So.
Is that a 1-inch drive?
It's a 1-inch drive, yeah. So I have this set because I have a 350 foot-pound torque wrench, but I don't have sockets for it. So these are my sockets I use for my giant torque wrench, which I use for my control arms. We might, you know what we might need to do? Yeah, I just pulled it. We're
Put a little heat on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna put some heat on it first, but we'll strap this to here maybe, so when we're turning it, it doesn't move.
So to keep the Pitman arm from moving while we're loosening it, we're gonna put the drag link back in, put a bolt on loosely, and then that should hold it in place at least temporarily.
There we go.
All right.
I'm gonna try it anyways.
I'm gonna just put that on, thread a couple threads, just to keep it from going anywhere, right?
Yep.
So heating up the bolt, that'll help loosen things up a bit.
Okay.
Alright, that Pitman arm should just come right off too, right?
Nope, we got a puller. Pull the Pitman arm with a Pitman arm puller. So it goes up over it, and then that puts pressure in the center and pops it out.
So, you line that up, and then it's got a little kind of pointed end on it, right? And that goes right into that little notch. And gripping on the top of the Pitman arm. And then we just have to crank the bottom, and as you turn that, it's gonna pull that Pitman arm down. That's not moving.
We're gonna have to get a breaker bar on it.
Yep.
Or I could get out the air gun. See how it's turning it?
Yep.
Dang it, that's what we wanted to avoid. Oh, actually, you know what? It's fine. You know why? Because we disconnected the steering shaft. So that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so it'll get to a point where it won't move anymore, then it'll go just fine, right?
Which is what it's doing. Oh, yeah,
Let's put a little
baby.
heat on it first.
We did, right?
Oh, then we went and ate pizza.
Oh my gosh.
Is that going yet?
No. I may have to get some leather with my feet to turn it as well. There we go.
Come on, you can do it.
A rowing machine. Oh.
It's going.
Do you see it?
Feels like it was. And obviously you're
Oh, jeez.
moving up. You're not tightening, are you?
No, it's going right way. I don't think you could if you wanted to. Keep going.
Oh!
Let's do it again. Okay, have fun. Again. There we go. Now it's actually coming. See that?
Nope, I can't see a thing. I'll trust you.
It's coming now. That's much easier if you notice.
No, I wasn't even doing any of the work. That should be loose by now.
Yeah, right.
Is it coming down?
I think so. I'm gonna go with yes.
Wow. Well, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, we use the pipe still. A little bit more. There we go. Look at this.
But it feels like it's like puncturing that darn thing.
Well,
Oh, it's spreading it.
yeah.
It's breaking the tool. Holy crap. All right, look at that. That's like breaking the tool. It's spreading it like...
Inside, it's pushing it up. Wow.
So we are in the process of heating up the Pitman arm. Gonna get it nice and hot, hoping that allows everything to loosen up. Now, one important note, if you are doing this to remove your Pitman arm, but you're not planning on getting rid of your steering box, you should not do this process because this will melt the seals inside, right?
Yeah, in the box.
And the box itself. We are taking the box out, so it's perfectly okay to heat this up, and anything inside the box is gonna get ruined. We don't care.
If we were replacing the Pitman arm, we would just cut it off, but we're keeping the Pitman arm.
The Pitman arm, we have to try and carefully get that off, and then ditch the steering box. We should get it all up in there.
Yeah, it should go around in the seams up there by the way I'm spraying it around the back.
Tap it as you do it.
We're gonna let it sit for a bit, and
After you put a bunch of heat on there and then put your penetrating oil on there, hammer it. Give it some good pounding. That actually helps the penetrating oil work its way into all the little cracks and grooves and things like that. allows it to do its job. Let it sit and soak for a while. Come out every 5 minutes or so and hammer on it a little bit more. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put more heat on it because you could actually catch the penetrating oil on fire. But hammering on it on a regular basis every 5 minutes or so allows that penetrating oil to work its way in and hopefully get to the point where it kind of soaks up any rusted parts and gets to the point where it can actually be loose again. So we are going to put the Pitman Arm puller back on and cross your fingers. Let's see if this works. Does it feel any different?
I mean, it's tight, but it's hard to say if it's moving or it's
Did you
not.
put any grease on the tip?
On the tip? No.
Of the Pitman Arm puller?
No, the tip, it just makes contact, so grease wouldn't help. Maybe grease on the tines might help them a little bit, but...
Well, true to almost every repair job, looks like we have to run to the store for something.
And if we hadn't timed it better, we couldn't have tried to. Napa's open for 12 minutes, they're 10 minutes away, and they have one in stock.
So we're gonna go pick up a new Pitman Arm. We're gonna saw off the old Pitman Arm and then put the new one on, and the whole process should be a lot faster.
Yep.
So, fun. Well, let's go get a Pitman Arm.
For $1.99.
No, thank you.
All right, we're back in business. Let's go get this thing installed.
Napa advised me to put this in my filing cabinet, lifetime warranty. So,
You have a filing cabinet?
no, but they don't have a computer system, so we'll have to figure it out.
So with the new Pitman Arm, all we need to do is just take the steering box out. We can leave the Pitman Arm on it. Hopefully we can get it out with it all on.
Yep.
Just pull the old one out, put the new one together. So it should go pretty quick from this point on.
Hopefully. So we're gonna take the 4 bolts that mounted the frame, we're gonna crack them, and then we're gonna finish taking the 2 steering fluid lines off the top.
Yep,
They're
from the
already
top.
loosened. That should be it.
Okay, let's do it.
Done.
Hey, while you're there,
Yeah.
you have Falcon shocks.
Oh, those are nice. Love those.
So this should make it a little easier having 2 people. I'm gonna get down here with the pan and catch the fluid while he gets the pipes up top.
So you want to go, as soon as I take, it's going to start to fall, so you want to go grab it underneath?
Your electrical cable, it's gotta come out. Well, it's still being held on by something there. You sure there's a bolt?
Right there. There we go. And then it'll come under.
There's something else holding on to it up here. Is there another bolt
It's probably
up top?
just sitting on, it's just sitting on that there. That's it. Pull this underneath it. There we go. Oh man. Okay, straight down.
Oh,
Got it?
there's definitely something holding on to it. Oh yeah, this thing.
I can't see what is it.
There's a plastic clip on it.
Oh, do you want to grab that? Okay, let's throw that in there. That one we're losing.
Oh gosh, that thing is heavier than it looks.
It's super heavy, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
It's too heavy. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm trying to do.
Way to go, genius.
Yep. If that's the worst thing we do today, that's not bad.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time to put the new one in. Start by taking these caps off. To protect the interior, come these plastic plugs. What would you say that thing weighs?
Probably 25 pounds.
Well, that's not bad. Okay. All right, I can't see where the bolts go, so you gotta guide me.
So up, quite a bit up.
I'm hitting something.
Oh, a little bit more, right? Oh, just a tiny, maybe half an inch more.
Here.
I got one.
Yep.
Okay. And,
The other one's gonna need to go probably like this.
oh, yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more, right? Tiny bit more up. A little bit more. Right there, right there. Don't move. Okay. And now it should be good. Okay, all 4 bolts are in. I'm just gonna snug them down a bit and we'll tighten them later.
Alright, I can see where it goes. All the way back there.
That one goes there. Or do I have those right? Maybe they go. Like that and like that, I think. Does that look right?
Looks good.
They're matching up good, so.
Yeah. Tighten them down. Red thread locker on it, and put that up in place loosely.
Maybe.
If you can get it.
Try flipping it.
Come on, you can do it.
You can do it. There we go. Oh, I thought I had it. Got it.
Okay.
Now. Okay, that's probably good. Let's torque it before this Loctite starts to set.
So next we have to torque that big nut down to 185 foot-pounds of torque, and to do that, we need the big boy.
Okay, 185.
There it goes. Nice work.
Perfect.
Teamwork. So tell me why you have such a large torque wrench.
Mainly for control arms. Getting them down to 250 foot-pounds sometimes is pretty tough job.
So next we got to do all the 4 bolts that are holding the actual steering box in to the frame, and those are 70 foot-pounds of torque.
This is a wobble socket. You can see curved ends. When the socket goes on it, it just gives it a little bit of flex, helps you get into tight places. So right now, I'm super close to my coil, and having that will allow me to get in without the socket being straight on. So, right there, perfect.
So next we have to do the steering shaft, reconnect that. Before we do that, we've got quite a mess. We're gonna do a little cleanup. The mess. It looks like someone got murdered under your Jeep.
The only thing I'm concerned about is
why is automatic transmission fluid the same color as blood? Right. Next we gotta get everything put back together. It's called a castle nut.
because
it looks like a castle.
it looks like a castle.
All right, so now I gotta try and get up here and get that arm put back on.
Did you in the track bar? Oh, good. And it should just slide right on. Maybe move the Pitman arm just a little bit, left and right, if it's not lined up correctly.
Well, I can't move the Pitman arm. It's attached to the track bar.
Okay, then rotate it just a tiny bit, but not too much. But you shouldn't be able to because it's attached to the steering wheel, which is held down. Right?
Oh, that is very awkward. There we go.
Okay, hold on. Got it.
All right.
Cool.
Hands away.
So there's a...
Place that boot we cut with a new one.
Previously used boot.
Yeah. Tighten that castle nut back up. The tricky part on this is getting it up and lining it up so that you can get the cotter pin back in it. Do you know where the hole is?
It's probably right up here. I think it's in that one. Yep, so it doesn't go in quite yet, so I'll go a little bit tighter. I might need a bigger wrench.
Probably went too far. There you go.
Or I went
perfectly.
Just right.
So finally we got to get the track bar put back on, and to do that we're going to use a ratchet strap and pull everything tight.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm ratcheting.
Ratchet, if you can.
Jeepers. Hold on. I got to get a good grip on the bumper over here.
Oh, so close. One more. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay, one more. Come on, Jeremy, use your big boy pants. Oh, it was so there. If it would have clicked, we would have had it.
Is that it?
Hold on. Maybe.
Or do you need one more?
No, that's
I can
good.
go halfway.
That's good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it in, but I want you to put some pressure on it so it's not stripping the bolt, okay?
Yep.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Is that it?
It's in. You're
I
done.
can let go?
Yep, let go. Okay.
Okay, good.
You know what? I'm turning it the wrong way.
Wrong way. It's loose.
It's the right way the first time there.
There we go.
Okay, so, ow. Okay, let's put a breaker bar on it. Oh, that's good.
So finally we need to bleed the system. Now this is actually really simple. It's bleeding brakes and other things are a lot more challenging. This is really, really easy. First thing we want to do is want to have the power steering cap off, where you got a funnel here so we can continue to fill it up. You want to raise the Jeep up off the ground to allow it to be free, and we're just going to use the steering wheel, go all the way to one side, all the way to the other, and do that several times. And as we're watching this, we want to make sure that this actually stays full. The air is going to naturally get pushed up through and escape through the top of this, and then allowing us to continue to refill it to make sure that we're maintaining the proper level. Once we don't have any more bubbles, we're done. One other note, don't start the car. The reason we're putting it up on jack stands is so that it's easy to turn those wheels and be able to do it. If your wheels were down on the ground, it'd be a lot harder to turn those wheels. So just hop in, turn your key, and then you're going to turn your wheel all the way to the one side. Okay? And then all the way back to the other side. So we're just getting the wheels put back on, and then we're gonna go take it for a test drive. Driving on the freeway, what do you think? Big difference?
Huge difference. It's not flighty at all. So I've been playing with track bar, drag links, tie rods, ball joints, trying to figure it out for a while. It was the steering box. So it is driving.
And by doing it with the OEM replacement, it was what, $250?
$250 only because we got the Pitman arm that we couldn't cut off. So
yeah.
I was about $200 before that. So $250 with the Pitman arm.
Not a bad replacement to make sure that everything's driving smoothly. So
yeah, now we can go to Moab next week.
All right, looking forward to it.
Awesome.
And that's how you replace a steering box on a Jeep. Hard?
It wasn't hard. Everything was smooth with the exception of getting that Pitman arm off.
That Pitman arm was a challenge.
Yeah.
So getting the new one certainly made it easy. But other than that, it actually was not that difficult of a process. So
fun.
If you're thinking about trying this yourself, good luck. It'll be fun. I don't know how helpful our video would be, but thanks for watching anyway. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you think it's appropriate, and we'll watch you next time.
Yep.
What? We'll watch you next time? No, they'll watch us next time.
We might watch them.
We're watching you.